Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Nathan, and today we need to talk about a huge Jack Eichel update regarding the trade that could actually go down extremely soon. Now, we did a Dreger update video a couple days back, but we've seen so much new info come out about one specific team doing so much work trying to get a deal done, and that deal could happen in the next couple days or even the next few hours, and that team is the Vegas Golden Knights. But when it comes to this Jack Eichel trade, will Eichel end up in Vegas? What will the trade look like, and will the Buffalo Sabres actually pull the trigger, and what prospects and players would they get back? Watch till the end for all the latest trade rumors and all the latest updates, and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are new. 60% of the people that are watching are not subscribed. If you like hockey and if you like trade rumors, this channel is the place to be. Now, excuse me if I'm extremely excited throughout this video because I've just been waiting for a year and a half for this Jack Eichel trade to actually happen, like a lot of you guys as well. We've been making update videos throughout the entire process, and it would be finally nice to get this deal done and to finally have a trade in the books. Now, we heard a ton of rumors in the past couple of days, again, specifically about the Vegas Golden Knights and what the trade would potentially look like and how close it is. And from @MayorNHL, who runs Mayor's Manor, who has a lot of breaking trades when it comes to the LA Kings and other teams within the Pacific Division, he said this about the Vegas Golden Knights and their potential trade with Jack Eichel. Hearing Vegas and Buffalo are getting close to an Eichel deal. Let's see if Anaheim re-engages. Side note, Ducks moving Raquel to the IR. So there you go. Mayor NHL and also Elliotte Friedman, which we'll later get into, are saying that Vegas and Buffalo are super close to a trade, and they will be making it probably within at least the next couple of days, and we could see it within the next few hours as well. We could see this Jack Eichel trade happen today as I'm recording this, and that is just the greatest news of all time. But Elliotte Friedman also had some other rumors that pretty much say the same thing. Now, Friedman went on the Jeff Merrick show, which has pretty much been his go-to place to spew out all the latest details on the Eichel situation, and when he was asked about Eichel, he had a pretty interesting quote, and if he was asked if we were closer to a trade, Elliotte Friedman said this: I think there's real work being done to try and facilitate a trade. I do think Buffalo and Vegas are talking very seriously. And when you add that quote on top of what Mayor NHL was saying, how close this deal is, it seems like Vegas is really the one team out there trying to make this trade happen and trying to finally make a Jack Eichel trade happen from the Buffalo Sabres. And we talked about in the last trade update video how it seems like Carolina, Columbus, Boston, teams were checking in, seeing what the price was, seeing if they could do it, and kind of just being in casual talks. Well, the Vegas Golden Knights are taking it extremely seriously, and with how many injuries they've had already to the team, they can't really afford to lose this season. And even though Jack Eichel obviously isn't going to be healthy for the foreseeable future, he is the number one center that Vegas desperately needs, and it seems like they might finally be able, or willing at least, to give away the price that Buffalo wants. Now, the Vegas Golden Knights were always one of the most interesting teams in on Jack Eichel because it seems like on paper it would fit perfectly. It just didn't seem like Vegas was willing to give up the actual assets that Buffalo truly wanted. The main guy that we did hear about a ton when it came to a Jack Eichel to Vegas trade was Peyton Krebs. His name is really the most important one here because in the past, when it comes to rumors and everything, for the longest time, Vegas seemed to have basically Krebs as an untouchable in a Jack Eichel trade. And that's basically what's taken Vegas out of the conversation at some points when it comes to Jack Eichel. But it seems like that might be waning, or possibly the Buffalo Sabres are lowering their price. Either way, it seems like a trade is super close to happening, and Vegas will likely be the team to get this trade done. But there's still a ton more details to talk about here. Now, we also got a pretty interesting quote when it came to what Vegas is willing to give up from NHL Rumors Daily, who has broken some stuff in the past. I think notably the Ryan Ellis deal, for instance, but is a little bit spotty, so take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. But when it comes to NRD, he said this about what the package could look like. From what I've heard to this point, and it's not much, I'd be more surprised if Krebs isn't involved than one of the reported defensemen. But at this point, here to share what I've been told. So basically what he's saying is that it's a lot more likely that Vegas is willing to give up a guy like a Peyton Krebs than to give up obviously a guy like Shea Theodore, or maybe just have Peyton Krebs and maybe a first round pick instead of also having to include Nick Hague in the deal perhaps. That is what we're kind of looking at here. It seems like Vegas wants to keep as much defenseman as humanly possible. And when it comes to Vegas, we're talking about how the impact would be if Jack Eichel, once he eventually becomes healthy, would be. They wouldn't really lose too much if they aren't giving up any defensemen and are just losing Peyton Krebs for the now. Peyton Krebs is still going to be a fantastic player and would be a huge part of that Vegas team. I've loved watching him in the past couple of seasons develop and grow. He would be sensational for them, but hasn't really panned out so far and could be a guy that Buffalo uses very, very well. And it seems like if Vegas, again, wants to keep the defenseman, especially Shea Theodore, which would suck to lose, and it seems like they are finally willing to finally give up Peyton Krebs, the main guy that it seems like Buffalo has wanted this entire time. And that, I think, is the big reason why we are pretty close to a deal happening tonight or in the next couple of days. Now, a couple of months ago, we did get confirmation on what Buffalo wanted in a trade for Jack Eichel from Vegas, and at that point, the trade was Peyton Krebs, Nick Hague, Riley Smith, and a first-round pick for Jack Eichel. And it was obvious at that time that Vegas wasn't probably going to do that deal. It was a very steep offer, but it seems like, again, it's either going to be Krebs or it's going to be a defenseman a part of this deal, and that would probably be one of the main centerpieces. So it doesn't seem like it'll include both. So maybe if Nick Hague's a part of the deal, then Peyton Krebs wouldn't be, and vice versa. You get the deal. It seems like Buffalo's pricing has gone down, which is crucial, and an NHL watcher also makes this point. So it seems, I repeat, seems like Jack Eichel thing is going to come to the conclusion soon. The threat of a grievance being filed is really pushing this thing forward. And we were talking about that as well in the trade update video, that Eichel could file a grievance with the NHLPA, and that would be serious for the Buffalo Sabres. They do not want to go in that territory. And since that kind of rumor was let out from Jack Eichel, it seems like all the talks regarding everybody for Buffalo have rapidly increased. And it seems like also the price has decreased too. So for teams like Vegas that were already in on him, but were kind of not wanting to give up the full price, it seems like now is the best time to pull the trigger. And it seems like, again, right now, Vegas is super close to making it happen because of that lower price. Now, I think at this point, what is most likely to be this deal to Vegas would also obviously include Peyton Krebs. I do think Vegas is going to want to keep as much defensive capital as they possibly can. Maybe it does include Nick Hague, perhaps, because obviously Buffalo does want some NHL-ready roster players, but I could see potentially, I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if it's going to happen, but Zach Whitecloud just signed a 6-year deal, so maybe that's an option for Buffalo to get since he has a lot of security there and you have him locked down. Maybe he could be a part of this deal instead of Nick Hague potentially, but it would definitely revolve around Peyton Krebs and a first-round pick and also have more stuff on top of it. It might still involve a defenseman. Losing Whitecloud would absolutely suck, but I would definitely expect it to be Peyton Krebs, a first-round pick, possibly another prospect on top of that, and maybe another NHL roster player, but at that point, I don't know if Buffalo's price is still going to be that steep. I feel like they want to get this deal done at any cost possible, and still getting Peyton Krebs in a first-round pick, that's not a bad haul. Both of those assets will be huge for the Buffalo Sabres going forward. And here's the thing we also have to remember, that price might just decline as well for Buffalo when they're asking by it for Vegas, mostly because of their start perhaps. I mean, Vegas has started off horribly so far, and they're not going to have Mark Stone or Max Pacioretty in the next month. There is a real possibility that the Vegas Golden Knights could miss the playoffs this year and be a lottery team. And if that does happen, that first round pick is exponentially more valuable. So maybe Buffalo's looking at it that way, and the price has also decreased that way as well. Vegas is trying to leverage that first round pick that could be a lottery pick. We'll see what ends up happening, but I feel like that is also another big piece of this. Because again, Eichel's not going to be ready for at least 3 months heading into the season. And yes, he'll be ready for the second half, but Vegas could have some woes at that point. And no playoff spot is guaranteed for any team, especially with how Vegas has played. So I think, again, there is a possibility of that being the case. And I do see it revolving around Peyton Krebs, a first round pick, and this deal eventually getting done. It could happen today. It could happen right when I'm recording. We are so close to this deal going down, and I'm so happy about it. I feel like Vegas is a perfect destination for Jack Eichel as well to rejuvenate his career there with some great wingers like Pacioretty and Stone. I mean, just imagine Stone, Eichel, and Pacioretty. Once those guys are fully healthy, Vegas is looking like a true contender again. The center situation was always the biggest problem with Vegas, even going back to the conference finals versus Montreal. Now that would be fixed with Eichel, that team is a lot more formidable. You could have now a center group of Eichel, Carlson, and Chandler Stevenson. That is a lot better than having a guy like Chandler Stevenson as your first line center. And especially when Eichel is healthy, that would be huge for Vegas, and the offense would be so much better, especially come playoff time. Now, another thing that I'm super interested about with this timing of the trade is if this happens in the next day or so, and that replacement surgery that Eichel would get with Vegas gets done in like the next week, there might still be a possibility that Jack Eichel does play in the Olympics. It would still be a long shot, but there would be a possibility of it. It seems like at the very least it might be an 8-week length period between when he would be fully healthy, and he might be back for the Olympics at that point. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. It is a possibility, even if it is, again, a long shot. But if Eichel can't be back for the Olympics for Team USA, that would be absolutely huge. I mean, I think Vegas, honestly, a part of this might just be trying to get Jack Eichel healthy for the Olympics to get USA gold, and honestly, I respect it a lot. And I feel like once Vegas gets Jack Eichel back, it's going to be so much better. But the Olympics are a possibility if this trade gets done soon, and from all of the aspects, from all the reporters so far, it seems like this trade is going to happen within the next day, in the next couple of days, possibly today. I know I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it seems like this trade that we've been waiting pretty much forever for might actually happen, and I'm just so glad the Buffalo Sabres seem to have declined their asking price, because that seemed to be the big thing all along that was holding this trade back. But Vegas has circled back. They're willing to give up a guy like Peyton Krebs, and honestly, in Buffalo, I think Peyton Krebs is going to be wonderful with that young core going forward, especially under Dan Granato. I think those two guys are going to fit perfectly, and I feel like with Buffalo, there's enough momentum there to get a trade done, especially if that first round pick is non-lottery protected. Maybe it would be like top 3 or top 5 protected, but I could see the Vegas Golden Knights letting that potentially be a lottery pick, and that being a part of the trade value for Buffalo going back. But if Jack Eichel does go to Vegas, it's not the Rangers, but I still think in Vegas, Jack Eichel would be extremely fun to watch. But that'll be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell to get updated and get notified when these rumors and new videos go live. Make sure you do so. Make sure you comment down below. What do you guys think of all the latest trade rumors? What do you think about Eichel in Vegas? When do you think this trade is going to happen? Let me know all your thoughts, and make sure you share this video with your friends. Get it out there to everybody you know, and click on this card for all my trade rumor content right on playlist. My name is Nathan. Have a great day. I am fighting allergies as much as humanly possible right now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Goodbye.